What up, though, y'all? It's Chris, broadcasting from the D. And let's get into this topic, man. I think it's about time I cover this one. And it's about people wanting to be deceived, people wanting to be lied to. I see that, at least based on this weekend, people want to live in a bubble. They don't want to awaken from it, and they will resent you for trying to shake them awake. They will have facts right before their eyes and they will still deny it. This weekend, we seen all of the No Kings protests. We seen all of the violence that was happening in LA and in New York. I didn't really see any violence in Texas, but I did see that there were some Texas cities. I think it was Houston in particular that had no Kings protest, and people want to believe so desperately that this was some grassroots movement when it obviously wasn't. When you have 1,800 cities across the country that conveniently are doing this around the same time on the exact same day, this is not some grassroots movement. This is not a handful of what is it, guys getting together on Reddit or Discord or whatever and mobilizing. This is absolutely ridiculous. It's clear as day. What's this, a mosquito in here? It's that time of the year. But it's clear as day that this was very much an intentional thing. This was very much being funded. People were being paid to protest. People were being paid to riot. We seen videos of people that they were they were offered money to either go to a city and tear up there or tear up their own city. I think both options are disgusting, but I think tearing up your own community, there's an extra layer of shitty about that. Like, how dare you tear up your own community? It's really lame to go to somebody else's community, tear their stuff up, and then go back home. But you for real gonna tear up where you live at? That will never make sense to me. There'll never be an argument that anyone can articulate that could possibly convince me that that's okay, that that makes sense, that that's somehow a positive thing. We saw videos that people were showing that there were pallets of bricks, pallets of cinder blocks, there were pallets of things that could burn, like Molotov cocktails. We seen this. This was obviously something planned. One guy was talking about how he was offered $150. He was told to go to LA. He was told to go to specific blocks. And when he arrived there was stuff there that could be used to create destruction. Like, we were seeing this with our own eyes happening in real time. But there were people that were so just resentful of bringing this to their attention, and they were rejecting this, even though they're seeing the proof of it. I mean, some people were even in my comments telling me I'm misinformed. It was absolutely hilarious. I'm like, what am I misinformed about? I'm literally reading a newspaper. How am I misinformed? I was sitting here talking about the fight that broke out at the No Kings protest, whatever they were calling themselves, doing at a park in Southwest Detroit, and how the Detroit highwaymen, who are also stationed there, came out, uh, popped one of them upside their head a few times. The police came and broke it up, and there was no more altercation. So right there, I knew that there would be no tearing up of anything like that because people of the community were simply not going to allow it. And I mentioned to you guys before, I said here in Detroit, we don't play that, letting outsiders come here and tear up. And that was put on display. It was put on display from a group that I wasn't expecting, but that just goes to show you that even motorcycle clubs, we all have the same pride when it comes to our city. We're not going to allow some outsiders to come here and tear up our city over some political whatever. We don't care who you support. We don't care what politician you support. leave that shit at the door if you're gonna come here. You're not gonna come here with that riot and all that. If you want to stand around with signs for your TikTok video chanting Orange Man bad, knock yourself out or whatever. Get some pictures downtown in front of, the Renson or the Coleman Building or Comerica Park, whatever it is you want to do. If you're here to spend money in our city, enjoy the sights, get some food, get some Detroit style pizza, whatever, knock yourself out. We have no problem with that. It doesn't matter what your you know, whatever party you align with, whatever. We couldn't care less. But that tearing up stuff, that's just never gonna fly here. You also have the fact that we saw the damage that was being done. We saw the destruction that was being done, and people were still claiming that these were mostly peaceful protests when they weren't. There's whole compilation videos showing how people were acting. People were burning cars. People were throwing bricks or rocks at officers. Somebody threw a Molotov cocktail at police. All right, one person threw a Molotov cocktail at police. You had somebody who, I mean, he's still at large. He was throwing rocks at the Border Patrol agents as they were going past. You had people standing on a highway overpass dropping rocks down onto unsuspecting motorists. I mean, how crazy is that? You had the Apple store being looted. You had random mom and pop shops. Like, I can't get over this one, a sushi restaurant. What in the world about rioting a sushi restaurant fights ICE? These people, they were just tearing up everything. Even the coveted Kobe and Gigi mural was defaced. Even that was not spared from these people and their actions. So you have whole collages of LA being destroyed, and the news media was still trying to spin it as, oh, it's mostly peaceful. It's mostly peaceful. Ridiculousness. Even more ridiculous. And I'm only saying this because Californians, you guys that aren't out there tied up in this madness, you deserve better. Your leadership having the gall to get on the news and say that everything was fine, everything was under control, and that the whole reason that this spun out was because of the White House is absolutely absurd. So it's totally fine that Orange Man is doing something that upsets them, whatever. It's totally fine to lay waste to their city, to terrorize regular citizens who want nothing to do with any of this. They're just trying to get back and forth to work. It's okay, because Orange Man bad. So you can do whatever you want to do, and it's justified if you dislike President Trump. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. You guys deserve better. Karen Bass is one of the worst mayors I have ever seen. I say she's even worse than Brandon Johnson in Chicago, and I don't say that lightly. Like, I thought he was the worst mayor in America until I seen how Karen Bass handled the fires that you guys had out there, and then how she doubled down on stupid with how this riot situation was handled. For days, they just allowed the city to be burned down and had the police just standing around doing nothing. The police couldn't do anything. They were told to just basically hands off. And then they got upset when the president sent in the National Guard and Marines to do what the leadership there was refusing to do. That was a terrible look. Not just nationwide, worldwide. That was a terrible look for the city to be done that way and the leadership doing nothing. That's why the president dispatched out resources to get stuff under control. Because people around the world, they think LA, they think Hollywood. To them, Hollywood is being rioted and burned down. Like, that was a awful look. And they take no accountability for anything. And think about this. People who were hurt, people who lost their livelihood, people who cars got destroyed, why is it that they get no acknowledgement? They get no acknowledgement whatsoever. They just lost everything in silence. They get no acknowledgement. They don't even want to talk a little bit about the fact that this was out of control and that they should have moved better. So there you have it, man. People, they want to be deceived. They want to be lied to. They get triggered when you hold a mirror up and like, no, that little bubble that you want to live in, convincing yourself that what you're doing is righteous and you're fighting the power, fighting the machine, fighting the institution. No, you're just a pawn being used in a bigger game. You have no idea the game you're really playing. The sad thing is that you don't even know who you're out here working for. You're being sent, they put a battery in your back, send you to the streets to do this and that. And then if you find your dumb ass arrested, none of those people who put you out here to be an agent of chaos are about to show up and pay your bail. None of them are about to get you a lawyer. You about to have that public defender. None of them about to send you a good lawyer. None of them, if you manage to get yourself shot or something like that, none of them are about to pay for your medical expenses. They certainly aren't going to pay for your funeral. You just out here just doing the most because you think that you're standing for something when you're standing for nothing. Whatever thing they hyped you up on oftentimes isn't even true. They're just manipulating you emotionally so that you'll go out and be an idiot. And I can't believe how well it worked over this weekend. But I'm gonna leave it there though, you guys. This video ran over longer than I was intending on it going. I guess I just had a lot more to say about this than I thought I would. But hit me with a like if you like what I do. Hit me with a sub if you like what I do. And hit me in the comments. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Peace.